So we'll
Okay,
start the recording.
I'm starting it too.
All right, all right. Well, welcome everyone. Today is Friday, October 16th, 2020, in the year of COVID, and this is the market wrap up with JD and Mo Jeezy. What's going on, Mo?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
All right, man. All right. I want to kind of hop into a few things. I have Nicola on the screen, and
Huh?
I've been tracking Nicola for a minute, waiting for a breakdown. It was either a breakout or a breakdown, and I got that red daily candle that I wanted. Had some small bodied candles going for for a good period of time, just signifying indecision. Had the initial sell off from some crazy, uh, just the fraud allegations, the the short hit that they put. What was it? Muddy Waters put out, Hindenburg put out also. But you said that day you were like, if um, if Andrew Left comes to the table with something, watch this thing pour out of bed, and that's it did that. They played a little bit of catch up with trying to let Trevor, you know, deflecting, and then CEO he kind of just dropped out of the way. Then it kind of you start doing the spin doctors trying to come back in and save face. But today the issue was, and this is when a catalyst can make a move is we one of the things that I feel like we have to watch or decipher between noise and signal. And today, like overnight, you started seeing things about their little statements like, if the GM deal falters, we're going to be okay. If the GM deal falters, we'll axe the Badger, which was their primary product. Well, not the product, but the vehicle that they were going to use to bring to market. And somewhat like sour grapes. And where there's smoke, to me, there's fire. So
Hmm.
what? Buy the rumors, sell the news, and it had a legit sell off. I traded it twice today. I just wanted to, I brought that up because I wanted to talk about the primary thing is that, did you have a major concern after you studied, like, okay, you have an economy background, you have a fundamental background. When you went with Jay Johnson and some of your other mentors, I remember when I
Shout
left
out
my
to Jay.
mentor,
Hmm.
my biggest concern was, okay, what now? How do I find stocks? Was there ever an issue for you in that regard, a concern?
Um, to be honest, I can say no. You know, getting with Jay Johnson, that was probably one of the best decisions of my life. Like, it's because of him that I'm linked with Jamar James and that he got with me. But you know, his the way he structured his program and kind of the way that I look at options was still from the perspective of having something good from the start and using what's available. I mean, the Dow 30 is like a go-to, and I mean that was kind of the thing. So even from, and I mean even from myself, like my story, like going back to grad school, like even then, like I always kind of lean towards the Dow 30 as being a fail safe of something somewhere to find a pick.
Okay, okay. I like that, man, because I remember, and I know I see a lot of individuals who hop into the market, and the biggest concern, or one of the concerns, is like, how do I find stocks to trade? Well, not just trade, but invest in, because I want to go down that route. And one of the things I wanted to say, guys, and I want Mo to drive into this. There's a number of free resources that we can lean on if we're looking from the just pure investing side of things. Uh, I I like looking at Investopedia for education. I'm gonna pull that up on the screen. It's just a lot of free resources when you're going in, and I'm gonna get a little bit deeper to the point I want to make. Um, Investopedia. Investopedia.com. You can go to the education side. You can go general stocks, investing essentials. And from that point on, that the next thing I feel that was important for everyone that will kind of give everyone a little bit of give people a little bit of comfort is that decide on a time horizon for when you like to pull your money back out of the market. I mean, it might not, the best laid plans go to waste sometimes, but we need to have a plan in place. It doesn't have to be uh, just, you know, a significantly detailed plan, but it's like, hey, I like this stock, I like this company, I'm interested in it. I'm gonna put my money in it, and hopefully, 2 years from now, the value of this money that I'm putting in will be more than it is today. Uh, what are your thoughts on that? Just that basic, but without going just in depth from a basic entry standpoint.
Um, I mean, I definitely, I definitely uh, advocate for having a why, and something a little more in depth than I just saw it on in a group, or I just somebody else told me to buy it. Like, even more to me, more in depth is something like, I buy this product all the time. I love, my Tiffany earrings and,
There we go.
silver, rings, and I don't get nothing if it's not Tiffany. And my mama did it like that, and all she do is buy Tiffany. My daddy, he invested in Tiffany and, bought me my first charm bracelet. All not that, that's a valid reason to say, okay, maybe we should, I could take a look into Tiffany and see if that's it, because that's brand loyalty. That's something that draws you to.
Perfect word.
It's a reason for wanting to get that. You are, a long time shopper of that company, and likely millions of other people are like that too. But yeah, I mean, most definitely you want to have some reason for why you are, you know, looking at this stock, or looking to put your money into it. I think about it like this, and I don't know, maybe I told you before, but I think about it like this. A lot of people are very cautious to lend money to family or to invest in somebody close's, business. Junebug say, he got a t-shirt company, and he trying to, what I'm saying, he need 500 to, print up these t-shirts. A lot of people, hey, would be like, all right, let me see a little bit more info. What you really got going on if I let you hold this 500? You know what I'm saying? What t-shirt sizes, who gonna buy them, when you expecting return on, you know what I mean? Like, you do that for those, but you know what I mean? Somebody just say, hey, get in Genius.
GMUS.
Get in Genius. I'll put out Genius just because I know that's your joint. But somebody just say on a group, or somebody, hey, I'm or even something like Nikola or Tesla or any stock. Just I'm hey, get in that, and you just drop money in there without giving it that same at least baseline, like what's going on with it. Well, why should I? Well, I mean, what's Tesla doing right now that's going reward me, my money or a return on my investment? And when am I going to expect it back? Like, that same type of scrutiny that you gonna give cousin Junebug that just got out and want to start his business. Like, that's what you want to do for this as well. So
perfect, man.
That's how I see it.
That leads me into this one right here. I said decide on your time horizon, um, and Mo just mentioned the why, and he mentioned brand loyalty. And one of the things I put in there is like, we begin to research and figure our reasons for wanting to invest in a certain stock, and that's Mo's why. And then one of the things that I always say is that comfortable daily use bucket of stocks. Okay, you look, what type of phone do you use? Oh, I use Apple. What is your service plan through? It's through T-Mobile. Okay, we have AAPL, Apple on the screen. Bam. Okay, we have TMUS, T-Mobile. That okay, we're trying to decide. Okay, I like these two companies. Can I say in 5 years will Apple be around? Do I think with all things being equal, I kind of comfortable about that now without digging off into all the research products and going to the analysts because I can find six on one side, half a dozen on the other that say, Apple's going up, Apple's going down. It's going to come down to your conviction on believing in that stock. I also use a little bit further down. I use something when I start trading and wanted to build baskets. If I have it on the right screen, I like to use the 6 degrees of separation headline grab thing, and I'll do that sometimes. I'll put the video in or the link to the YouTube. It was one of our previous sessions, but I make baskets of stocks to where I can dig. I have airline baskets, space race, coronavirus, cruise industry, defense sector, game. There's 11 S&P sectors that we can dig into, and we can go into the meat and potatoes of that. But the first thing Mo was talking about, hey, okay, what type of, do I fly Delta? Do I fly American? Maybe not the airlines right now. Do I stay at Marriott hotels? Things like that. The headline grab, but also when you post it, how they say, you get it, you get comfortable in a group and you put it out there like, hey, I'm looking at investing in XYZ company. When you put it out there with your conviction, there's going to be someone else on the other side of that. So why are you looking at that? Well, what that their bottom line is this, and this, and you hadn't even thought about the quarterly earnings report, their trend, what their debt ratio is. You haven't thought about their market cap. Is it an expanding market cap? You can in the beginning you can have analysis paralysis, but there's something that it can go back to the why. And I always bring up I like to bring up my wife because her big thing is long-term investing, and she loves Uber. And the reason she loves Uber is because she's convicted about their flying taxis. If you ever watched The Matrix, when the Oracle talks about how Morpheus believes in Neo more than Neo believes in himself, to the point of like Morpheus believes with every fiber of his being that Neo's the one. My wife, you can't tell her any different right now. She said they're gonna have those flying taxis. They're already building their landing spots, their transports, their the technology. And so who am I to say, no, baby, the bottom line is this, blah blah blah. If it's a long-term investment and you believe in it, and we don't have any like congressional hearings or any crazy things that are in the oven, like with me, what Nikola is a concern, possibility the Department of Justice, SEC investigation. That's those 2 red flags I watch out for. But if you have conviction on something, you're gonna have 6 on one side, half a dozen other till you do it. Don't why. And if you have your why, stick with it and build your position more. I'm gonna let you go with that, man. What are your thoughts on that? Because I got something else I want to show you.
Go ahead with it, because I got a couple other things too.
Okay,
just keep going. You good?
Now, guys, with when it comes to in long-term investing, I truly believe the best initial route is reading, studying on your own, not out. From a long-term investing standpoint, the majority of us have a good feel for it and don't realize it because we've done it. We're doing it. We're already investing in companies. We're investing in the utility companies that we pay the light bill to. We're investing in whether it's the railroads, infrastructures. We're already investing in those companies, but it's just the fact that we're paying them outright instead of being in business with them. So I think before you pay money to have someone teach you just basic, not trading. Trading is a different beast. Investing, long-term investing, exhaustive free resources like our first one, of course, that I mentioned was Investopedia. And I like to study that. And then we have quite a few videos on my YouTube page from previous episodes. But I'm not sh- I'm not trying to put shade on this thing, but guys, if you before you spend money like this right here, this is I saw this the other day. Choose your plan below. I hope I have it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You see, it says stock to own for retirement fund, 5 to 10 year holding period. So we're looking at 5 racks, and all I'm getting out of this, it's a lot of details. They talk about signals for your trades and things like that, which is cool. But this is for a long-term investing, for book recommendations, unlimited access, 365, stock evaluations, price target. Those are all great. Monthly video review and a net private Telegram channel. Cool. If I'm paying 5 G's, give me access to the dude. If I'm paying 25 G's, let me talk to the dude. And let me 40,000, let me go to the mastermind retreat with you. You know, so what I'm saying, there's some people have the money to do that, but new investors, if I really would rather see them exhaust the free resources first, so you can come to, if you want to go the mentorship route down the road, you'll come to the table with, I guess, more not sophisticated questions, but more evolved. I heard Cleo say this, more evolved questions as a learner, as an interested learner. You can when you can articulate what's on your mind a little bit in a clearer fashion and speak the vernacular of the particular industry you're in. It's easier to navigate the early waters, and someone can throw information to you, and you can pull it in a little bit more. So dig into the study side of it before you pay money on the early stages of investing. Now, when you want to go to the next step of trading and things like that, I really believe, you know, you need a little bit less fragmented. And I'm not sharing it as a positive, Shay. Yeah, yeah, I'm sharing it as like I can't believe those prices are up there for what's going on. So yeah. Anyway, Mo, I saw that the other night, and
Yeah, I remember seeing that too, and a couple thoughts on that. I mean, seeing a couple of those things, I'm like, we doing something good in DCG. But on second, also, I'm familiar with Ian for some years now, Ian Dunlap, and what I can like, I think I'm still on this email list from like for years. So what I can say is that he's been at it for a minute and has been out. Now, as far as like if he's, I ain't gonna get into all of that, but what I can say is that he's been out, and for folks that are or will research him, you'll see he's been available and been out and doing stuff for a while. But on the flip side of that, just to kind of throw a little bit more perspective on that, whether you pay whatever you pay for anything, that is not my concern. You pay for whatever you feel the value you're gonna get. My thing is, from a perspective of becoming a decent, prudent investor, or a consistent, profitable trader, like what most programs likely won't tell you is that most of trading is going to be personal, and it's going to be personally psychological. That's why at least from my perspective, I can see why JD is saying go and learn go and do some research and learn your things. Like if you, and I've said this on other classes before too, if you go to the library, or if you go to Barnes and Noble, if you go to Amazon and you click in trading books or investing books, like you will get 100 pages of books, of books, of books, of books, of books. And what that tells me, and what that should tell you, is that there are a myriad ways of making money in this market, a myriad ways. With that, though, is the knowledge and the fact that, my way in the way that I do things may not be exactly your way, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. What you have to do is figure out, what you're good at and how to infuse that into your trading and investing. It's a highly personal. And those who like have, I can definitely say from my groups who have made the transition from a 9 to 5 to like full-time trading, like the technicalities, is easy. It's controlling yourself and understanding yourself, understanding your psychology, what your risk tolerance is, when you can and cannot, be comfortable having money on the line. Like a lot of people can't sit in front of, the screen, and, do day trading, and not that they don't have the time to, but their emotions can't handle the price movements up and down all day, every day, like, and end up, consistently losing. Like, those type of people may need to be the type of people that reevaluate themselves and say, hey, maybe I need to make this entry here or step it off a little bit. So when I make my entry, I can just let it do what it do. And then there's some people that don't like that patient like that. They can sit there and wait and snap and wait and snipe in and out. But their personality has to be, built for that. So, I guess my twist on it is that is very, very personal and very personally psychological. So especially trading. So, you can pay for whatever you want to whoever you want, but you still gonna have to search and find you at the end of the day. That's it.
Oh, I like that. I like that, man. Search and find you.
Yep.
I, I just wanted to. I'm glad you dove into that, man, because I really, I truly feel, man, with that, without uh, unequivocally, man, that there's so much available in the beginning to where we can dig off and figure out kind of what kind of catches our attention, because in the early stages it's almost like when price is searching for fair value, price discovery. We're searching for discovery within ourselves as as a young new investor, new trader, figuring out, okay, am I a long-term investor? Can I sit on some stock and just tuck it away and go away and not come back? And because the big thing is, you'll see, and I always talk about, we need to establish our time window or time horizon in the beginning, because the first thing that's going to happen when you buy that stock, you're going to look in there. It's almost like when you start liking a new car or get a new car, you start seeing more and more of that same car because you're noticing it. You start seeing a lot of posts, a lot of threads, a lot of comments about the stock you got in. And then you're going to have, then the day of reckoning comes when that stock sells off. And it can happen like, I guess, MongoDB. Corrections can happen, man. Like even after Corona, but like right, let's say you bought on 9 September 1st, bought it at the high 254.76, and by the 4th of September, you were at 254.76 and the low was 201. So you lost $54 per share on that investment. That would panic just the average person. If you didn't, you're thinking like that was a mistake. What happened? This market sucks. And a lot of times you're going to sell at the bottom of that, and it was at the bottom of a channel, and people bought that, held it for a little bit, and rode that thing back up past the entry level, and now it's setting up for another pop. But that, so we have to establish a long-term horizon if you're investing, and then it has to be comfortable for you. Certain people can handle it. They can do it and just let it ride. One of the things I wrote down that I want to talk about is just that building that watch list, guys. Coming up with the time frame, like, hey man, let's be in this thing for, let's just try for 6 months. Okay, let's try for a year to see. And dollar cost average, if you're first starting out, and just keep studying and investing. The more you add to your database of knowledge, your confidence level is going to increase, and then that comes into play. And then you have to take it a step at a time, because when you start getting confident, overconfidence enters into it, and that can really, that's when traders get hurt. I know it hurts me if oh man, this is, I'm right on the money with this, and you get a little bit bigger position size, and then you realize like, oh, I'm mentally, I don't like the pullbacks and having to deal with the larger red red on my screen like I'm down $400, but my stop loss is 450 to make 800, something like that. So we have to, Mo mentioned that psychology of self, which I totally kind of downplayed in the beginning, but my goodness, man, it comes into play, because we will start, we'll begin to you talk to yourself if you start trading, and you haven't really had those you haven't prepared yourself for it. So we're in the preparation stage. I think as we come towards this new election, there are a lot of things that are going to be on the table that we need to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
Possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
volatility, and then opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the market sells off, it'll be a panic for some, but it will, like, if it does the Rona water. I think what screen am I sharing? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's our Rona waterfall right there, as on the Dow. Man, on the way down, man, people, a lot of 401ks were hit, a lot of families were hit, and then there were people on the sidelines already with gunpowder, with fodder, ready to hop in the market and pop that thing and buy that. It really, you say you catch a falling knife. Uh, there's a period of time where I guess savvy investors were like, in the history of the Dow, after it gets to a certain level, we can look back and I see this line go back across.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, the Dow had a breakout
Mm-hmm.
in that same area where the Dow fell down to, um, right here. What year was this? This was 2016. We had a breakout. Dow fell to 17,893, but there was a breakout, and then price just kind of hovered in this area, that 18,199, and buyers came in and ran it back up. So when we always talk about looking to the left, Mo, and we looked to the left, and we got back over to Corona. That waterfall fell down there, and I'm sure you guys in DCG, man, had prepped your group to say, okay, guys, don't scream and say bloody murder, because when blood in the street, like Buffett says, blood's in the street. We see a reversal, some type of support. It might be time to go in when people are running. Uh, what are your thoughts on that, man? With the upcoming uncertainties?
Um, Definitely upcoming uncertainties, from the astrology perspective, from the election perspective, from um, in the Wall Street um, historical tendency perspective. There's
Okay.
a lot of uncertainties. Um, you know, this election can be a precedented election, or unprecedented election in our time, can be, which can cause some turmoil in the markets. The markets don't like uncertainty. So this whole thing with the election and a new party coming in, and a new party having different ideals about finance and financing things, and like that that can be a complete shift of investor sentiment, should one or other party wins. Then you also have the historical. I mean, we're coming into the historical buying season for most funds, getting ready for the Santa Claus rally, and
Hmm.
the strongest months in the market. So, I mean, that kind of uncertainty, I guess, dealing with the market and funds still needing and figuring out, when and where to place funds, creates that, uncertainty and that possibility for, price drops and for retail traders to dump as well. So, I mean, it's there, and it's something to be watchful for, but at the same time, you don't want to count on the market tumbling, like, because this thing is rigged to go up. So not rigged in the way that the sentiment and the general outlook of market participants is for this to go up. So that's what we inherently should
lean towards.
I guess lean to, the market is going to want to go up. When it goes down, like, what's going to make it go? It's going to have to be a really strong force to make it want to go down. So, the election could be that force, but it may not be as well. So,
well, I mean,
you don't want to bank on
anytime it goes down in a crazy fashion. What happens? They scramble the jets to find a way to put
bring it right
some type of catalyst to boost it back to where it was, instead of letting the natural order of things play out. Because the fact that the economy itself has been in a downturn with job loss, joblessness, and but the market is reaching new highs is the factor of the inverse correlation right now is kind of decoupled from it. But I put something in the chat, one of our previous sessions that we did on beginners, where we walked everyone through the step-by-step process of getting into the market, maybe building baskets and things like that. It was one of our older market wrap-ups, but it was a good one. I think that's an area to start, and you can start doing your deep dives into, okay, I like tech. Right now, I really feel that I've been writing this down for months, and my wife and I would sit down and at night and try to talk over what areas do we think are going to be affected by the current status of things. I was all about the big pause at one point when we're going to shut down. What's going to happen? So we're looking at Zoom. We were looking at chemical companies. We're looking at lumber, gold. But I'm right now, AI, cybersecurity, the mining and all the stuff that we did the stock scouting reports on, gaming, heavy video gaming stuff, man. I wrote it down. A guy from Atlas Alpha One, Dan Niles, he said on CNBC today, not to say that just because dude's on TV, but I do listen to guys who run their own funds and manage millions and sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's their job to make rich people stay rich. I'm going to listen to them.
I listen to those cats. I'm listening to just the dudes that are putting their opinions on
right.
The opinion columns. No, if the dude has skin in the game, let me hear you out. And he mentioned right now he's avoiding malls, cruises, and airlines because there's so much uncertainty. There's some pending possibilities of like, okay, everybody is right now, you can push off your mortgage, you can push it off, and things are gonna be deferments, man, on the back end. When it's time to pay the piper, there may be an issue, but so to look at it on both sides when, okay, man, these defaults are high, blah, blah, blah. I always go back to The Big Short. When people were panicking in the street, there's people on the other side of that looking for opportunity, not to take advantage of someone's hardship. But if you're in the market, you look for possibilities, opportunities, and you assess it. So he was mentioning he's grabbing 5G, gaming, and e-commerce. We were talking, you and I have been talking about gaming, fintech. You've been talking about 5G. Larry's talked about, and those are, so guys, sit around and discuss, like, what's 5 years from now, what's going to be leading us, what's moving us ahead. But then I started trying to go 25 years down the road and start saying, what's going to be obsolete in 25 years? Am I going to be pulling out and say, hey, you have change for $1? Or can I get you got some quarters so I can go to the washateria?
Man,
Dog, I need
look,
to go to the washateria. You got
it's getting hard out here for some of these folks because
I'm not
ain't
pumping
folks ain't
quarters.
borrowing no dollar, carrying no cash, bro.
I'm not pumping quarters into
Mm.
to a vending machine anymore. So
Right.
it's going to be, whether it's thumbprints, there's going to be, I don't like the retinal scan, but they're big brothers here.
That could be it. Yep.
Big brothers
We'll
here.
be there, I think. Definitely fingerprints and
25
eye
years.
scan. Yep.
And the other
And it's
thing
gonna be
is
connected to a blockchain account.
now that 100,000% yes.
Yep.
Because when and anytime people get mad about it, I used to see brothers say, I just see y'all talk about Bitcoin, this and that. I'm just sitting back watching it go to zero. I'm saying, well, dude, short Bitcoin to zero, become a millionaire. If you really believe that,
And talk that mess.
put yourself in the coin machine. Was taped off at the wow. Selena tried to use a laundromat. Coin machine was taped off, but every time I go to like CVS, Walgreens, there's a sign up and says there's a coin shortage.
Yep. No more coins.
No more coins. And you know how you start thinking back, like you see something and you're like, okay. Then you start thinking back months later or years later and say, man, there were signs in our face, little articles. And I'm gonna give you all this stock right here, not to buy, but I want to take it's CRISPR Therapeutics. It's a crazy stock to me, but it's something. And I keep telling Mo, man, I wrote about this thing in my book almost 2 years ago. They have a Cas9. It's gene editing. So basically, it used to cost like $250,000 to do it, to map the human genome type thing and change it. Now they have it down to where they can, hey, what color eyes do you want the baby to have? What you want it to have a thinner nose? What height? And pull up the Chinese scientist who cloned twins and went to prison. That story, a brother in Coinda showed that to me. He sent it privately. It's like almost over a year ago. The thing about it is anything that deals with DNA mapping, human genome, is going to be controversial because on both sides you play the God complex, but it's something for the future, man. You think 25 years from now they're not going to have that human genome mapped? I mean, we might not be able. I mean, we actually stopped chickenpox. We might not be able to stop the common cold or the flu. But brother going to be able to grow another limb some kind of way, So we did biotechnology in June, right? And we kind of that's when we. And at first you weren't really with it, but then as you got into that thing, I'm like 25, 30 years from now, and I heard Mark Cuban say it he said, the medical system is still antiquated, where you have to go into the doctor hey, what's wrong with you right now? Oh, my throat hurts. Instead of like doing a finger prick blood or blood scan, like where, our blood can tell us what's going on, a lot of different things. So I think that is an area of really digging into it. And guys, didn't the lady who discovered Cas9, I think she did, Gerald, and 3D printing, Kay Kelly, this ties in. I know I'm going all over the place, and my team, we're losing right now in the playoffs. But hey, hey, brothers, a little
ATL.
I'm not worried about them right now. We just got to get to the World Series. But no, it's go Rays, brother. Go Rays. That's my stimulus package. But the 3D printing, one of the Kathy Wood with ARK Invest mentions, and I've heard it before, that eventually you get the data from the gene therapy, you pump it into the 3D printer, people, print an ear, print literally the print organic matter. So that's down the road. I just wanted to touch on things that if you believe in it and you have your why behind that, don't let someone talk you out of that long-term investment. Now, you need to have your time horizon. Now, if it's a trade and it doesn't happen like in 3 days, and that stock goes down, and you're like, what do I do? Like, well, how long were you planning to be in it? Was it a trade? Was it an overnight trade, a day trade, a swing trade, a position trade? Was it an investment? Was it a short-term investment, mid-term investment, and long-term investment? And then Mo Pizzle mentioned, companies within certain ETFs that we check that, like the companies that are like the big investment banks or institutional investors, when their name starts showing up on the tops of lists of companies, the smaller companies, or any of the, an influx of capital comes in. We can see that with the volume spikes on the bars right here, where all of a sudden this 500, 300,000, and you get 35 million. That was as we were building our strategy for the penny stock edition this past week. We zeroed in on volume again, which is we never got away from it.
Volume is key for me.
I'm gonna toss it back in your court, man. And
it's all good. I appreciate it. I don't know. I had a few things. I just wanted to kind of wrap up the week. I'm glad that you went to kind of going over some stocks, because that's kind of the vein that I had written down for this week. I'm gonna share my screen if it's all right.
All right, all you, dog.
Let me see. Let's move this here. So I wanted to just kind of recap a couple of things that should be of note from this week, and kind of point out some stocks to kind of put you guys on. So the very first couple of things I want to talk about is data. A lot of data came out this week. A lot of things. Earnings kind of kicked off this week with banks. One of the key events this week was the Apple unveiling the new iPhone 12, and Apple did relatively well, at least at the beginning of the week, going into this week, had a nice big jump up. Going into the Apple event, we're still holding around that 119, 120 area. That's good. But I wanted to point out, because somebody had mentioned in the chat, I don't know if they actually mentioned, was talking about this stock VZ, but somebody put VZ in the chat, or get on the VZ train. And it dug right into Apple. So if you weren't able to watch the presentation by Mr. Cook and his great colleagues, they highlighted a couple of other companies that may be piggybacking off of the first 5G iPhone. And two of those I wanted to kind of bring to your attention. First one was Verizon, obviously, because they are going to be the 5G network for Apple, and they are not necessarily looking great, but not necessarily looking bad. We have this support level here at the $57 area, 57.50-ish. We continue to hold this area, which was resistance here before, after this downturn right here. So if this is a true breakout and we're coming back to test this as support area again, we could see this continue higher. And this is on a weekly chart. So going 3, 4, 5, 6 candles out, should this hold support right here into the next few weeks, it would lend to the iPhone sales, the holiday sales, and things of that nature. So I'm looking to see, should Verizon hold this $57 area as support, and bounce up and looking towards $60.62 over the next few weeks. So just kind of keep an eye on Verizon. And another one that they mentioned was Corning. And I have a special love for Corning because JD, this was one of the stocks that I went heavy in that grad school portfolio. This one did me well. I've always loved Corning. This is the company that makes the glass that goes on the iPhone, phone case covers. They make glass for a lot of different stuff. Make this thing called Gorilla Glass. Yeah, they do. It's an industrial company. Yeah. And iPhone had mentioned that they have a new not necessarily shatterproof glass, but it's supposed to be 4 times or 5 times stronger or something on the fall or something like that. And the glass is developed by Corning. So should they, do well, I would think, Corning could benefit continued from, the iPhone sales. So I just kind of wanted to put a couple of peripherals. I still haven't found a company that owns or runs Belkin, because they mentioned Belkin as well as the accessories company making accessories for Apple. So if somebody find the owner of Belkin, and if they are public or connected to a public company, reach out to me. I've been looking.
Hey, Kadeen mentioned JMIA. Is that Jumia? And Mo Parks mentioned Marvell for 5G.
Okay.
I'm just mentioning,
I think Marvell, that came up on a list. It might have been the 5G list. I remember seeing that name recently on the watch list. I'm gonna have to write that down.
And Honhai Precision Industry Company is Belkin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're China, probably either Taiwan or China.
So I just wanted to kind of put, everybody talk about Apple. Apple is going to be, leading phone company and leading holiday sales and such. So just kind of want to keep an eye on the big guys, Apple. Then I wanted to, before I get into my other couple of stocks, I just wanted to go over some data on what I saw was interesting. We did have bank earnings this week. I tried to find an article that encompassed everything, but they gave me all the different banks. But what was interesting of note with these bank earnings is that the banks that were more Wall Street focused or had trading desks did better with earnings this period than just straight commercial banks. So the investing and trading side is seemingly doing better than just deposits and loans.
Oh yeah,
shout out to blockchain and DeFi. But so that was interesting there. And I'm gonna come back to that last. This was also big this week. Jobless claims rose to 898. This is an increase from last month, which was at 695. So we got more people filing for unemployment. Still ain't got no stimulus. A lot of analysts are saying this is one of the things that weighed on the market on Wednesday and Thursday. Was due to this jobless claims and more people being unemployed. So just as far as an economic underlying, this also, fits into the narrative. This, in my opinion, also kind of fits into the narrative with, the election and everything of who's more, well, from public perspective and maybe investor perspective, who's more generous to the working class versus who's more generous towards investors. Like, so these type of data points plays into that psychology, and that investor sentiment. So continue to keep an eye on jobless claims. Make sure you watch next week and the next few weeks, to see if that 898 increases or decreases. I think that's going, especially now we going, like I said, into the holiday season, the Santa Claus rally for investors. This is going to be interesting. But on the flip side of that, what is also interesting is that retail sales was up. We had retail sales data come up this week, and even though we got more people claiming unemployment, they buying stuff. Retail sales was up. And from my notes, one thing, reason why I like to kind of just make note of retail sales is, it is, the more you get comfortable with the market and these data releases, retail sales usually comes out a few weeks before retail companies present their earnings, and earnings are just getting started. Whenever you see banks, all JP Morgan, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, you see them about to, release earnings, then that's when earnings season is starting. Banks always start off. So Banks is starting. Then usually, you know, we'll have all these companies coming over the next few weeks. But about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll start having, you know, the retail companies, you know, the Best Buys and the Walmarts and Targets and Dollar Generals and all of that. So this data can give you a little bit of insight on which parts of retail and which of those companies may, you know, have decent earnings and may be able to provide some trading opportunities. So from my notes, I saw that cars, clothes, restaurants, and e-commerce saw pretty decent.
You said cars?
Cars, clothes, restaurants, and e-commerce saw a decent improvement in sales. So and BBBY. Somebody else asked me about BBBY, and I like to clarify. I asked that person, do you mean Best Buy or do you mean Bed Bath and Beyond? Because Best Buy is BBY and Bed Bath and Beyond is BBBY. Sometimes folks add the extra B, but Bed Bath and Beyond, that's what I thought. And then BBBY, 3 B's in a Y. Somebody else, I got a couple people that said they bought a car. Somebody said they used Carvana. Actually, let me look at that one because that stock has been
that girl is poison.
NA, I think. Yep, Carvana. This one has been relatively decent as well. This one has been on a couple of checklists before. So Carvana may be one you guys want to.
It's sneaky.
Yeah,
man.
it's sneaking up there. Keep an eye on that one as well for some trades. I don't know what their options, you know, as far as like, you know, open interest, since I've never traded them, but when I read this company often comes up. So this definitely you want to keep an eye on, and these are all weekly charts. So yeah, I mean, all of that is decent. So we want to kind of you know, keep an eye out for retail stocks coming very soon. And for my last two, I want to bring up Virgin Galactic.
Hey now.
Space. This was brought up a couple of times this week. I think I posted this in my group earlier this week. Virgin Galactic is about to have a manned space flight in a couple of weeks, and this company is attempting to take civilians into orbit, so they need their test flights to be great. So this could definitely be a catalyst, an in for my Slim people, something new that could push this stock up. This is the weekly chart, and it's just breaking out of my alligator, just coming off of my fifth fan support line. So I mean, just looking 26 is looking like it's in the range, easy, possibly even 28, 30, 31. So you know, space looks good over the next few weeks, especially if their test flight on the 22nd goes well. So mark your calendar for that and keep space on your radar. And now for my final pick, my final kind of company, my baby, Disney. Okay, so what the reason why I wanted to bring this up was, you know, they are going to restructure their entertainment business, which houses their, you know, movie studios and, you know, all of the different assets that they own to produce, you know, movies and television shows and such. They are going to focus that more towards Disney Plus and original programming. So they're basically going the Netflix route. And why I think this is significant. Immediately what I thought about when I saw this and I saw the price action of Disney is a couple of years ago, Apple had mentioned that they were—
Who's up above?
Yeah, here we go. Apple had mentioned that they were going to cease reporting. I think it was stop reporting iPhone sales and put more emphasis on services or something like that, in their valuation or towards their bottom line. And the stock took a little dip because at the time the Apple Watch had just came out. The health was just kind of, it is not what is, it's grown exponentially in the last two years or so. But, I was saying then that, the services part of Apple, like Tim Cook had been saying for some years, he's moving into services. Services is where they were going to go. And when they made the announcement that they were officially changing their accounting kind of practices, it threw analysts awry. And, the stock kind of, took a hit for a minute. But I was like, you give it 2 earnings, give the analysts 2 earnings, give them 6 months. And I guarantee, Apple is going to come back, and they're going to come back strong, and they're going to blow, because the services is what, is going to move that company. I'm going to have to find the video that I put that on, so you can know that I caught that time. But anyway, what I see with Disney is this is a significant move, because now, if y'all been listening to me for the last few months, you know how much I love Disney and how much I think they're undervalued because of the assets they have in place, their entertainment assets. This allows them to have more control over distribution and creative control with all the, the Lucasfilm, the Marvel, the Simpsons, like they own so much intellectual property that they can now, they don't have to depend on theatrical releases pretty much and they have basically said that they're not going to depend on theatrical releases for the bulk of those income. But they
own
still
Marvel too.
Yeah, they own Marvel. They own all of Marvel. So like all of those titles that they own, now they can actually, put those assets to work and it not be beholden by what's going on, with all, man. Okay, y'all watch Disney. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Right call.
So I just wanted to put my baby out there. Disney's gonna be one definite long-term hold. We going into the holidays, like, man, let this streaming come. Y'all saw how Hamilton was excellent. I'm not sure about Mulan. I heard some people weren't happy about that, but look, it's gonna take them a minute to figure out that type of pricing type of thing for the releases on Disney Plus. But when they get it and they get it right, and these filmed up, man, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But I can't wait till these Marvel movies start kicking back up. Like, it's gonna be legit, and it's gonna be all Disney Plus, and so yeah, y'all watch. Y'all watch this. So that's all I got for this week. I just wanted to kind of recap, some of the stuff. Watch out for space. Watch out for Disney. Investment banks or Wall Street facing banks are doing really good. Jobless claims is up. Keep an eye on Corning and Verizon as peripherals to Apple, and continue to keep an eye on Apple. And I have Boeing on here because
I'm long Boeing right now, man. For a trade now. Hey,
for the trade. I'm still asking, is that a 737? I don't want to be on it. I don't trust it.
But I had a setup, and I'll take the setup, but comfort level, I'm gonna let them put their families on it first, because it's winding up, man. It's sold off today a little bit, but
that is a nice coil too.
It's coiling up to make one way or the other.
One way or the other. You just gotta keep tight stops on whichever. If you're going long,
Yeah, true that, dog. It's
160 area.
So space is one for me.
I like space too.
I'm long space. Zoom, I made that play on Zoom.
Oh yeah, that was another one that blew off this week.
PACB is my.
Yeah.
Look at Zoom.
Wow, from March at under 100 in March to almost 600, man.
Perfect example of when someone a high momentum runner, and every time it gets to a certain peak, an exhaustion peak, people say, "Oh, it can't go any higher. I'm a short this. It can't go any higher. I'm a short this."
Support and busting up.
It can't go any higher. I'm a short this.
Support and busting up.
and you cannot. Those momentum runners can blow it out the water, and everything's on the side right now. Even when it had the violation of the issues with the security, you know, that pullback was just
that was somewhere in here maybe.
Yeah. It didn't last
somewhere
long.
in midsummer. It didn't last long because it was probably this consolidation area right there.
Dukes came into our room a couple of times, but anyway.
Yep. I know, right? That was crazy. Yeah,
that was
this
amazing.
is also another one of them stocks. Like, see, this is one, like, you know, I've often talk about, you know, fund managers will, you know,
NEO
pick, you know, quite a few stocks, but then we'll have that one that will bust out. And this is an example of one of those. This is one of those stocks that, you know, when you find something good and it's moving like this is one you could have probably just traded this and one Dow Jones, Microsoft or Apple all year since March and been good with just these two stocks, depending on you know how you trade. So, I mean,
and Cleo asked about NEO. That NEO is catching that EV wave and showing a lot of. It caught a nice, strong, structured move up. That's a perfect stair step up.
Yes, and this hitting
like the consolidation periods, and then it breaks out. Consolidation, breakout.
Yeah, all them Fed fan lines almost to the T, and we coming off this one. So where is we got a lot of $40. Looks like the next stopping point.
Yeah, just as a steady progression, slow and steady, you know, and not a crazy parabolic 90-degree move, except for right now on the week, right now. I mean, on that daily chart, because this
gap up here.
Every time it does that, it'll consolidate and then go into trading range for a couple of weeks, build up, and people make some decisions.
Yep. Let's see. Anything else? It's all good.
We got to record it. I'll post it later tonight.
Yep, I got it recorded too. So, trying to think if it's anything else. Playing both sides of NEO. Yeah, this one may actually pull back to this support area in the 2250 area.
There's a little gap.
That actually would be good for that gap fill. Would be good for the upward trajectory for this one to just pull back.
I'm still short Nikola, brother. I'm staying short Nikola. I'm just letting folks know.
Yeah. But NEO, let that pull back a little bit. Nikola, this one,
that's underwater and it's trying to get to 17.
It's just not working right now.
Let the news come out over the weekend,
trying to get to 17.
1780, 1755.
I'm gonna say 1650.
Are you?
I'm looking at this low right here.
Oh, where that wick down? Okay.
24th of September.
I'm staying in. And a couple of stocks from the penny stock. I'm staying long forward.
Yeah.
Long forward, and I'm long PCG.
Who else was I looking at? It was another one that was coming off that one too. A couple of these look pretty decent.
Cleveland Cliffs, yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland Cliffs looks good.
NNDM was looking solid.
That one's busting. This one needs to pull back a little bit.
Right.
I think it was Lit B. Yeah, Lit B coming off too. So
I saw that in there, and
nice little 3.
I think that's all we
call that a flag breakout.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's a few ones
the
looking
low
up.
Price penny stocks with some and our SSR, man, we give the process to making the picks instead of just give you the picks. The process behind it, that's the key to me.
Man, that's the key with every, and my DCG crew, I'm big on process and psychology. Once you can get your process down, then it's just repetition and charts for breakfast and repetition to build your psychology. But it's all about the process. So, I mean, you can just, and especially folks that like to trade them penny stocks, them small ones, in the groups, and they $2 and $3 and $5 or whatever. Like, it's a certain thing that allows a lot of, it's psychology. Like, I mean, there's no other way I could put it. It's certain things that, certain runners will have. And so we try to give you, insight into those processes. So even if you don't use our picks, you know what I mean? You can look and you can, use whatever picks you got and gauge them as decent
It's a due
investments.
diligence. It's a due diligence
That's what we do.
mechanism.
And we do that for all of them. We do that for all of them. Give you a way to look out. So
Sean's hopping in at Walmart. Well, Walmart definitely been on my watch list.
Oh yeah, Walmart. Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, retail again. Walmart, Target. You had mentioned Big Lots. Big Lots don't look too bad either. And I know Target bust through earnings last earnings season. So yeah, I figured this one was still.
These are all long-term considerations right here, guys, and also they are also hybrids to where long-term buy and hold, build a position, and also that you can trade them.
Yeah.
And not saying just because you can trade them on Robinhood or whatever means you should, but we're just saying that the better ones, I mean, McDonald's and Microsoft, things like that, you buy them for the long-term portfolio, and then you can also trade them throughout the year for short-term income.
Yep.
So
it's Big Lots, and that's enough. I mean, man, you digging all into my secrets right now. McDonald's and McDonald's and Microsoft is on the radar, like for real, man. They looking good. They ready. Microsoft, man. Okay, so shout out to DCG.
The
Microsoft hit price target.
Oh.
So.
Well, it's all in your court, man. That's me. Now, guys, next Friday, I'll know if I'll be available next Friday or not. I know by the middle of the week. So, but if not, we'll go Saturday or whatever. We'll figure it out. But
I might pull up or something. We'll see.
Okay.
Hold it down. We'll see.
Well, everybody, thank y'all for coming out. Mo, thanks for bringing it home to the house with the finishing.
It is, my brother.
We appreciate you guys.
This reading rainbow indicator. That's the DCG alligator. Reach out to me. You get part of DCG. That's right, Gerald. Tell her the reading rainbow is a bad thing.
Yeah, man.
It's legit. Any market, any time frame, holla at me. DCG,
well, I'll put my email in there, guys. If you have any questions, just shoot the email to me. I know Mo will drop his, and it's in there. We'll be back, and I'll put this up in the group. I'll save it and put it the YouTube link or whatever, and be up later tonight. So for the replay. So thank y'all for coming out.
And put my link in there from my link tree. You can schedule a call if you need to with me. We'll get you going.
Word up. Y'all have a safe weekend. I'll catch you Monday, man.
You know it, my brother.
All right.
Have a good one.
Peace out.
All right. Thank y'all.